Okay.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Christ, we're gonna get fucked up for saying shit like this.
Why?
Because it's an unpopular opinion concerning some Star Wars shit. So why don't we just get into it? So, first and foremost, we're millennials. You know, I was born 94, he was born 95.
Yes.
So, like, the first fucking Star Wars movie in the theaters for us
Right on the nose.
was fucking
Episode
Star Wars 1.
Episode 1.
The Phantom
Pain.
So what we want to talk about is sort of an unpopular opinion about it. Now, we give credit where credit's due.
It's good. It's fucking excellent movie.
It's
perfect.
It's honestly it's a pretty well made movie. And
Do you have it? Do you
I did. I got that movie. I don't know where it is. My roommates got like all 6 of them. I didn't have the Star Wars movies on my own previously, but they got it somewhere and they were watching it the other night. And you know, this movie catches a lot of flack for pretty obvious and, you know, reasonable reasons, if that makes any sense. Like, I know a lot of people hated it for its pretty whack ass story. Why is the story whack? The story's whack though because you get this mishmash of like, who am I making this shit for? Am I making this shit for fucking kindergartners like us? Like what we were? Or am I making this shit for people who love Star Wars because they've been fucking dying for it since Return of the
83.
Jedi? Oh shit. We
I
watched
love Senate. I love Senate shit.
We watched a documentary where fucking people were buying movie tickets just to see the fucking preview of this movie. That's so fucked up.
I saw Phantom Menace in the theaters 13 times. That's the guy I remember. He's the best. He's the best guy.
Oh man, my favorite's the dude who's just fucking running out to the door. And he's like, yes! And then he just fucking...
With the trailer.
Yeah.
Because that's the trailer. Well, I mean, we did the same thing with the Force Awakens trailer number 2, the second trailer.
Yeah, we had
the night it came out, and we put that shit on, and we had it on the big speakers. Everything was ready.
We were at his house, and we were
God.
watching that shit off of YouTube on, you know, TV. That's how quickly the times have changed for this fucking shit.
It was amazing. Oh my god.
Yeah, because we were like, fuck, you know, there's the Millennium Falcon, Jesus.
That trailer made me tear up. It was so good. That was such a good trailer.
That was pretty awesome.
Phantom Menace.
Anyways, Phantom Menace, right. This movie has a lot of problems with its story and with its character, like especially character design. If we should be honest, characters like obviously Jar Jar were kind of just like these campy fucking stereotypical bullshit. You know what I mean? Like Jar Jar
is here's a question.
All right.
Is Jar Jar a racial stereotype?
Well, I mean, if you obviously kids don't see the world like that.
Is the broken Ebonics
it's
sort
like,
of fucking
it's like some fucked up Jamaican sounding shit is what it is, dude. He's like Misa and all that kind of shit. And he's just like this character that's always getting into dumb shit because, I don't know, we need funniness.
Because it's funny. It's funny when he steps in shit.
It's funny that he literally steps his bare foot in shit. Like, this guy doesn't... He's got, like, 3 fucked up toes that look like they're glued to the fucking ground when he walks and shit. And this is a time when CGI was just like, man, what... Like, what can we do with it? Yeah, I mean, like... Alright, so, like, Star Wars aside,
we can do anything.
Side note, you know, you look at shit like Gollum, and you're like, fuck, that's what CGI should be. And like that's when it was at its best. Then you go back to fucking Jar Jar and it's like, wow, this is
garbage.
This guy looks crazy. And
you know, without the Phantom Menace though, Gollum would have never happened. Well, without George Lucas, I don't think like Avatar would have ever happened.
Yeah,
and not just because of the original Star Wars, but because of the prequels, because of Phantom Menace.
And shit, I guess that's what we really want to talk about is like, as far as a movie goes, a film, not a Star Wars movie, not a fucking nostalgic my childhood got destroyed by George Lucas's fucking vision and shit. This is like, as far as a film goes, watching the documentary and seeing all the things they did to make this movie is really fucking impressive. Because this is like the last Star Wars before. I mean, not counting Force Awakens.
Yeah, Force Awakens.
So let's
in the prequels,
like prequels, yeah. So in the prequels, in George Lucas's films, in 3 films that he directed after the original trilogy.
Yeah.
This is the last one to use real sets and to just sort of build models and have live, aliens. Well, not really live, but like costumes and makeup design and just things that were actually there, which made it more.
Yeah, Yoda was a puppet. I mean, before the Blu-ray re-release.
Right, he's a puppet. And that's cool because like he's there and they can see him and shit.
You can see him. Everything else isn't. So.
Yeah, and like what's crazy is like you even think of like the crazy the sword fight at the end. And they're all on those weird-ass, glowy, circular platforms, like some shit coming out of Star Trek's what it looks like.
I think that shit looks good to this day.
It looks good because it's there. Like, they're actually
you can tell
on it.
The ground is there.
They're,
unlike, say, the Mustafar fight in Episode 3.
So, like,
some of that's like, oh my god, it's like Spy Kids.
So, yeah, so, like, the CGI shit is more or less like the robots, like the battle robots that are just stupid. I mean...
Well, even in Episode 1, you can tell there's some scenes where the droids are real.
Yeah, and like...
Hands down.
In the documentary, that's what we saw. We saw George Lucas show that shit off to Steven Spielberg, right? And Steven Spielberg's just like, this is great. This is gonna be great. George Lucas is like, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And Steven Spielberg's like, it's gonna be great. And he's just like, just remember, I want to do an Indiana after this asshole. So like those guys want to be tight, I guess, so they can make a fucked up Indiana Jones movie.
Well, George Lucas wanted to make a new Indiana. Well, I think Steven Spielberg had always thought about it, but George Lucas was the one where it's like.
So yeah, before we even just we would make a video about fucking Crystal Skull. I mean, not that there isn't a million YouTube videos on that shit already.
By the way, the Plinkett review is the Plinkett review for anything George Lucas
is really fun to watch.
God tier.
It's really fun to watch. So that's why we're talking about this shit. So we're going back to Star Wars 1. We're talking why we actually think it's a pretty well made movie, because as a movie. Things that aren't that great are the story. Really, the story in Episode 1 is just what
I mean.
Like literally, there's people out there who come up with this chronological order to watch the films. I guess it's called the Hatchet version of it or some shit. They don't even include the first movie because if you literally take it out of the timeline,
it's kind of pointless.
It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. Like people that are introduced were killed off, like fucking Qui-Gon Jinn, and you never see fucking Green Asshole again. The fucking Jar Jar King, whatever the fuck his name is.
Oh, Jabba the.
Whatever the fuck.
Jabba
the fucking lip guy. Like that shit. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see that guy again. Or you don't see any of the fucking yellow spaceships that
Actually, shut the fuck up. Actually.
No way.
King guy. I'm pretty sure he's in Episode 3.
Okay, whatever.
I'm pretty sure he's in Episode 3.
He's in Episode 3 is fucking... Maybe Episode 3 the game or something. Where you fucking kill him, I guess.
Bro. No, bro. He's in Star Wars Bounty Hunter. The game.
Oh.
No, he's not. But I'm pretty sure, Padme's funeral.
Okay.
And one of Jar Jar's there, too.
Well, isn't that great? George Lucas snuck one of his CGI fucking Pixar creatures into the third movie. What the fuck? Whatever. So anyways, back to Episode 1. So, pod racing, the ships, all those were real models that they developed around.
A lot of them. A lot of them.
Not just...
looks real.
Oh, the concept art. Oh, my God.
Yeah, just like the race, the Tatooine race.
Tatooine race was sick, and
awesome.
like the shots were apparently the shit was fucking 3 hours long.
Well, yeah, a lot of
before they cut it.
About as long as the
movie, that would be a movie on its own of just racing shit. But it's cool that like, so like when I think of the pod racing scene, I know like some of you are like, yeah, it's all right, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of crazy sounds and there's some cool visuals, but like the thing that makes this scene so like pretty awesome actually is the fact that George Lucas is like a race car fan, right? And this was like his like fuck you to the studio. Like this was like his I'm making the movie I want to make and I'm putting shit that I like and I'm doing everything I want because I'm tired cuz like I guess the Star Wars movies were kind of managed. They were kind of micromanaged by Fox, probably just a little bit. I mean, he didn't even direct the last two, which are fucking phenomenal.
Phenomenally great.
I mean, Empire Strikes Back. We don't even have to fucking tell you guys. You're probably already like, yeah, that's the best one. You know what I mean? So
well, I think well, the thing that I like about the pod race is, well, just how different. You know what I mean? I mean, in every other Star Wars. Well, I mean, Attack of the Clones, the chase scene, the opening is kind of cool. You know, in terms of like kind of being similar to the pod race.
That's probably why you made like that scene.
Anyways, yeah, he likes cars.
I don't even because episode 2 is my least favorite one. I don't even want to get into that because I'll just touch it because like we'll kill that movie in a different video. So back to episode 1. So like it's I'm sure right now you probably think we're fucking stupid because it's hard to convince people that this movie has some merit to it. So
well, here's like the cool thing. One of the scenes, well, even like when your roommates were watching episode 1 on here, and I'm just sitting there, you know, watching it because I mean I know the movie by heart. You know, I grew up with it. But the scene where Watto is trying to stereotype Jew Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, I mean, here's like the alien
with the dice.
Here's like the alien stereotype shit, and it continues. It continues. That's why I can't wait when we talk shit about Attack of the Clones. I'm gonna fuck it up, anyways. So yeah, so we're talking about the dice scene. We're talking like, okay, so.
But like, if you look at the background, which is what I was looking at, and like the background, this shit looks real.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
Okay,
I mean,
so
like,
maybe
you look at Attack of the Clones, and it's like, oh Jesus, oh fuck.
Yeah,
you know?
like I said, we'll get into that
but
shit.
Phantom Menace, I mean, like that background, the hangar bay, and all the pod race, and all the, you know, and
I mean, obviously the shit isn't there, but like the people are. You can tell like some of the people are actually there, just walking about.
The people are there. Like, you know, what's physical. You can tell. You know, the pod race. I mean, the pods look real. The engines.
Yeah. So like George Lucas, the one he really filled the space, which is really nice, and like he did that all throughout Star Wars. For fuck's sakes, he took the original movies when he didn't have a budget. He fucked them up with the special editions, and he just added more shit to it because he likes filling that space, and that's what he did with episode 1, which is it's not a bad touch considering that like, sadly, some of the actors were just fucking hard to watch, and
well, the cool thing about episode 1, I think, like when you look at like the time, I mean, like George Lucas, you know, saw Jurassic Park. And it was like, okay, well now I think I can make another Star Wars again and actually have it be closer to what I want. But even like in 1990, you know, 97, 98, even then the technology wasn't there. And that's the restraint that makes like visually and artistically that movie stand out between this next two. Because, I mean, like, yeah, the movie kind of sucks, but you know, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of, you know, visual flair.
I wanted to get into the characters and how, like, okay, so George Lucas was filling the space with, like I said, a bunch of shit. And visually, it's appealing to kids, especially because...
Oh, yeah. I love it.
It's awesome. I mean, when you're a kid, it's awesome because it's a bunch of alien shit. And what's good for kids, I guess, but isn't good for adults is that the fucking characters are so boring. They're so boring.
Yeah, they can. Well, they're I mean, we'll get into Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, we'll get into that some other video.
But yeah,
oh fuck,
Jesus. But whenever before Disney bought Lucasfilm and they were re-releasing Star Wars in 3D, and they were going to do that each year. I saw episode 1. You know, episode 1 because that's the only one they did.
Yeah,
I saw episode 1. In 3D, and there's a bunch of damn kids in the theater, you know, and I'm trying to watch my Jar Jar Binks. Damn it, you don't know Jar Jar Binks like I do. And
Meese, I love you, John.
Thanks, Jar Jar. I love you too.
Oh man.
So, yeah, and I'm watching it, and it's like, man, I kind of just want to get to episode 2 right now. You know? I mean, I kind of just want to get to episode 3.
And that's probably one of the biggest confusions about Phantom Menace is the characters are trying to, through their dialogue, explain like these really heavy political situations that are going on in the Star Wars universe. And obviously they're talking about shit that kids are not going to understand, like a galactic federation or a fucking trade blockade. I mean, what the fuck? These are things you learn in high school and shit. You know what I mean? So kids are just like fucking pod racing and underwater shit. You know what I mean?
Are you
so
kidding me?
Now we're looking at the guys that were kids when the old Star Wars came out, and those movies were just really well.
What's your favorite thing about Phantom Menace? Like, what's your favorite thing, hands down?
All right, yeah, because we're kind of, you're right. You know, we've sort of been just talking shit about it like everyone else. So, my favorite thing.
Well, it's hard not to do that.
Right. So my favorite thing, my unpopular opinion about this movie is, I truthfully love the art style of the film, and what I mean by that is, I really like the way they took this Victorian sort of like 1400s Italy design to Naboo, like the planet Naboo. So it made it a very luscious planet, and it made it look like it had architecture that was worth defending. And it's like when you think of like the old Star Wars movies, there's just like, I don't want to say basic, but like it's just like it's like your basic space shit.
Yeah,
you know?
It can't be bare bones. I mean, like
there's
Tatooine.
There's a desert planet. There's a fucking snow planet. There's a forest moon.
Forest moon of Endor. There's a fucking swamp planet.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like the sets that blow you away in like the original trilogy is you think of sets like Bespin. Holy shit, Bespin looks amazing.
Cloud Planet.
Cloud City. You think of Jabba's palace. That set's really fucking cool. So is even the fucking skiff that he uses in Return of the Jedi when he's trying to kill them. In New Hope, I mean, the Death Star looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
God, it's like the ultimate Flash Gordon fucking space station with color and shit. But yeah, back to the art style. I really like the way
I like it. Well, it's like, I think the whole point is that he's showing a time that doesn't exist anymore.
Right. He's showing you.
I think he captures that well in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, visually, because that's one of the very few things that the movie's got going for it.
Definitely, and that's why we like to call this a well-made movie.
Yeah,
not
it is well-made.
Not the best. This is no by any means. If you hate this movie because it's a shitty Star Wars movie, we understand.
Yeah,
We're just saying that it's a well-made movie, and that's because the art style, the concept art was all put to the test when they made the sets, when they made even the CGI models, when they literally just created the entire environment by hand. And like, in that documentary, watching like George Lucas go to the wood shop where they're designing like the platforms, like the platforms I was talking about earlier, where they have the sword fight. It was just so cool watching the guys literally spend time in the wood shop, using skill saws and other power tools pretty much to build the carpentry of that. And what's really cool is like this dude just come out of nowhere, right? And Ewan McGregor was there, and this dude's like, pick your lightsaber. Like, they just made all these different swords, and he's like, holy shit, you know.
I like this one.
I like this one. This one's mine. And he fucking...
hands down, two of my favorite things about Phantom Menace. One, arguably, one of the best lightsaber fights in Star Wars. It's the best. It's amazing. It's fucking incredible.
It's a really stylized fight, and the choreography must have took them fucking hours to do.
Weeks, months,
and it's definitely, and you know what? John Williams, his soundtrack to that movie,
I don't give a
breathtaking.
Fuck. Episode 1, I don't give a fuck. Episode 1, best soundtrack.
That soundtrack was so
That
good.
soundtrack is amazing. It's fucking breathtaking.
When you think of back to the fight, like
Corn on the Cob, bro. Corn on the Cob is the best song. I mean, it's amazing, and I'm begging for that song to return for episode 8 or 9.
It kind of moves the scene.
Oh my god!
Where the scene doesn't, like,
yeah.
The fight is very of course it's fun to watch and it's intense, but there are things lacking in it that, you know.
But yeah, I mean, like, you know, I think both movies kind of topped it in ridiculousness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, episode 2's fights are kind of lame. Episode 3's fights, I mean, he went fucking crazy with that shit.
Yeah,
you know, he goes out of control.
I mean, if you know, if we never get to episode 3 as a podcast, and I'll just say right now that the emotional level of the fights in 3, they were as good as Return of the Jedi, because that's, to me, the best. I mean, I don't know how other people feel about it, but my favorite sword fight is the one with Luke and Vader in Return of the Jedi.
Emotionally, that's the best sword fight.
I think that's why I like it, is because he, you know, is pushed to a place where his training where like his training was finally tested by Darth Vader to see if, you know, hey, are you strong enough to withstand, you know, the darkness inside of you? And Luke,
yeah, you're gonna kill your father.
Luke almost lost to that.
You're gonna kill your father, bitch.
That's what's so good about that shit. I love that scene. But anyways, back to the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi is a shit movie. Phantom Menace is the best, obviously.
Jesus Christ. So anyways, if you want my address, I'll give it to you. If you're willing to crucify my ass. No. Just blame the millennials for everything, including that.
Oh shit, wait. Hang on. We gotta pause this podcast. We gotta go catch some Pokemon.
Oh fuck. That shit. Okay. Wait till Star Wars makes their own fucking mobile thing.
You think it's not coming? You think Disney's not talking? Oh, how are we gonna get some of this money, guys? We gotta figure this shit out. Oh, I got an idea.
Okay, so we're a little. So what were we were kind of.
We were talking about like the bed. We were like stuff on the soundtrack.
Okay, so yeah, the soundtrack. So that's another plus. Is the soundtrack is really intense.
It's amazing. It's beautiful.
And it kind of does bring out like the battle in it. Not just Corn on the Cob, but like even like
just to let you know.
This shit's called Duel of Fates. It's not called Corn on the Cob. We just say that shit because that's what it sounds like. The chorus sounds like it's saying that. But
any Star Wars fan knows that's Corn on the Cob.
That's fucking George Lucas is just like, I'm really hungry right now. I can use some corn. Maybe some Corn on the Cob.
Steven Spielberg microwaves that shit.
John Williams is like, I got an idea. Okay, anyways, back to the reason why we're trying to say this is a well-made movie. So like the documentary really opened my eyes. It opened my friend John's eyes too to a lot of what was going on. And watching people, my favorite human being in all of Star Wars is not even in the movies. Damn. It's the producer. It's the producer of this movie. His name's Rick McCallum. And like, holy fuck, I love this dude. I love this dude because as a producer, he worked tirelessly to get this shit going. He literally is calling people. He's like, hey, it's me, Rick.
You want to watch a Star Wars movie?
You like Star Wars? Well, put your money on the lot. You know what I mean? And he's really into it, right?
He's got these crazy looking eyebrows, and he's got this fucked up hair. That's going like crazy. He's like Kramer.
Dude, he's the embodiment of Kramer of Star Wars.
He's the reason why the prequels are so fucking amazing and why people love him so much.
Dude, without Rick McCallum. Without Rick McCallum, this fucking shit would never be. So, like, take that.
Rick McCallum, Star Wars would be fucking dead.
So take that as you will. All right, either he made the worst movie ever, or he kept the series alive that made The Force Awakens and shit. So let's go to Rick McCallum. Let's talk about why I think he's just the greatest. This dude, just like John said a second ago, the very first scene that they ever shoot, this guy's just like, all right, everybody, good luck. Let's kick some ass. And like, he's saying this shit because like he's like.
Because he's on crack cocaine, that's why.
He has no idea what this fucking director has in store for this movie at all.
And what's the one where I don't know if it's Rick in the scene where George Lucas is like, well, if I say cut, yeah, you can say cut too. Or no, better yet, when they finish watching the movie, and Rick is just sitting there in the theater.
Oh my
god!
Just
like
I want to tell this. I want to, dude.
Like, oh my
okay,
god.
okay. So what John's talking about is like my favorite scene from the entire documentary is the scene where they test screen it and they show it to the crew.
Yeah, they show it to George and all.
So George and everybody's there and they're watching, and literally they watch this shit. After the movie's done, everybody's like they're
in
like
awe. Well,
it's more like appalled. Like they're like in this state of appalled. Fucking Rick McCallum all the way in the back, covering his mouth. His eyes are so wide. His eyebrows are touching the ceiling pretty much. And you can see his face says it all. His face says, "Holy fuck, what did I just get into?"
I may have gone a little too far in some places.
Yeah, and George, that's the first thing George fucking says. He's like, "We may have gone a little too
this
far."
This is the special features on the DVD. Like, this is what has been on the
I
DVD
mean, like,
since it came out.
Shit, we watched this off of YouTube. You can see this anywhere.
You can see it
it's
anywhere.
A great
Just
documentary.
Google Phantom Menace behind the scenes.
It's a great documentary because it's entertaining to see a movie that really pissed off a lot of people, and
it's almost negative. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, like
this documentary is almost negative.
Yeah, it doesn't try to make this movie look better than how any of you probably
you don't have
feel
Liam
about
Neeson sitting there in a chair just like, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be the best thing ever.
No, you got fucking Rick McCallum. You got him just being like, holy shit, what did I do?
Everything is so dense. It's so full.
Oh
everything
God.
Everything on the screen. George is such a vision.
Oh man. So yeah, that's so fun. But yes, it's a well-made movie because the magic of cinema used to be this. You acting on these film sets, you can tell it just used to be fun to just be in a different world, be in a different place, just give yourself to what's going on, and that's where episode 1 has that.
The fun thing is like it takes all the sets that like the original trilogy had, you know what I mean, like the real physical sets. But I mean, now you have
new sets.
You have more CGI that you can pack in there, and that's good. The problem with Attack of the Clones and some of the problems with Revenge of the Sith is that
it's all
you
CGI.
have no sets at all.
Yeah, and that's
you
know what?
Beautiful costumes.
We're definitely gonna talk about Attack of the Clones in a separate podcast, but there's a lot of problems when you completely CGI the fuck out of a movie like that, and I can't wait to talk about the actors and how they fucking deal with that shit.
I can't wait to talk about the fucking Hobbit.
Holy shit.
Just wait for that can of worms. We're ready. We're ready.
Yeah,
for
I mean, like,
Orlando Bloom.
it probably sounds like we're huge Star Wars fans, but I like Lord of the Rings more than fucking Star Wars and Jesus Christ, Hobbit. Okay, that's besides the point. So yeah,
people are getting pitchforks right now. They're ready for us.
They're killing us, bro.
One, we love Phantom Menace. Two, we hate the Hobbit.
Hate the Hobbits.
So people are getting ready for us. They're on their way.
We think Attack of the Clones is probably the worst one of the series. Holy
I think
shit.
most people probably do. I think that's kind of normal, but I think we have a weird sense of respect for Phantom Menace.
So to recap, just
it's a beautifully made movie.
It's
just fucking bad.
It's a well-made movie. It is. It sucks.
It kind of sucks, but there's shit that you just kind of like. You know, I can't help but like Qui-Gon Jinn, even though he is a pointless motherfucker.
He is. He's
so pointless,
and he's kind of boring. I mean, and what's sad is like you butter up all these other characters like Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they barely
Kenobi's
do
on the
any
fucking
shit.
ship for like 1/3 of the movie.
Yeah,
Master, I found the thing that we need to further the plot.
And fucking Liam Neeson's like, thanks. I'm gonna fuck up the Force for fucking everyone. I'm gonna destroy this shit.
Your bacteria is super high. You should probably get seen by Master Yoda.
You guys probably don't know where. If you don't know what we're talking about,
you know about them. Everyone knows about the midichlorians.
We're talking about the plot point midichlorians, which really probably fucks the entire franchise up.
If J.J. Abrams, I'm sorry, if Mickey Mouse doesn't get into Rey's midichlorian count, I think I'm gonna fucking leave Star Wars forever. I think I'm done. Rey must have a midichlorian count of about 40,000. If that's the case, she's just able to fucking force grip a lightsaber out of the snow, past dumbass's head, grip that shit, and just start going ham. God.
Force Awakens is a messed up movie.
We're not gonna know. Don't say that shit.
They're coming. I know.
Don't say your
They're coming. They're coming with their pitchforks and their fucking Mickey ears. I see that shit. They're coming with their fucking I love Orlando. I love Orlando and I love LA bullshit shirts. Fuck it.
Bro, they got
whatever.
the Mickey ears. They got the fucking Iron Man masks on. They got their Tron discs. Jeez, bro, they're coming with their fucking lightsabers right now. They're coming for you. So yeah, Force Awakens. We'll talk about that in 6 more movies. Thankfully, that one's last.
So yeah, Phantom Menace is, to us, it's a well-made movie.
It's watchable if you can deal with the shit. And if you can get past all the Jar Jar Binks, if you can get past Jake Lloyd. I mean, and God bless Jake Lloyd, that poor little kid, who's not a little kid anymore. But God, fucking, I want to give him a hug so bad for all the shit that he's probably had to deal with. You know what I mean? No one should have to give him shit. He's a child actor. You know what I mean? They probably
won't leave him alone over that shit
forever.
Forever.
Well, hopefully the new trilogy will take some heat off of him, but I don't think it will that much. But anyways, I mean, besides all that crazy, the weird racial fucking innuendos that are there, everything that's crazy in that movie. I mean, it's probably like in the prequels. If you want to watch a movie that's as close to a Star Wars movie in terms of visual entertainment, probably Phantom Menace. Revenge of the Sith is a close second, but even then, it falls. Some things fall close to Attack of the Clones because it just, I think like the CGI is so much better.
But the dependence on CGI really
is still there.
It really takes away some things that make acting harder to do at its core. So
that's where you get Hayden Christensen, the greatest actor of all fucking time.
Fuck, that's when you get Natalie Portman with him, and they make like the double trouble duo of fucking romance. Fuck, Attack of the Clones is nasty as fuck.
Jesus Christ.
All right, well,
good ass soundtrack.
Anyways, another time. So thank you guys for listening.
Absolutely.
Have a good day and enjoy your Star Wars movies.